AllBall TV.
They scared, but I'm not.
They don't like comentario.
Y suscribe.
Y'all know what this is.
Knicks Rehab.
Knicks Rehab, y'all.
Big old Brian Windhorst was on ESPN today, and he was confirming some news, some rumors about Jason Kidd and the New York Knicks.
Yeah, the way I would describe this is there's mutual intrigue on both sides. And also, I know there's this whole thing about asking for permission. You don't ask for permission to hire another team's coach. When you ask, you're going to hire them. So essentially, when the Knicks express interest, the ball will be in the Mavericks' court. And they have three options as I see it. One, they can just say, no, thank you very much. Jason, we'll see you in the fall. Look forward to the season. Look forward to Cooper Flagg. They can try to make Jason Kidd have zero interest in the Knicks, possibly with the new contract. They did just give him an extension last year. Or they can negotiate a trade. And we have seen a handful of trades of coaches over the last 15 to 18 years, including Jason Kidd being traded from the Brooklyn Nets to the Milwaukee Bucks for 2 second-round picks 11 years ago. So it's not like Jason Kidd hasn't been in this situation before. Yeah.
That's Brian Windhorst of ESPN confirming lots going down with the Knicks and the Bucks. But also, I did want to add this guy because I'm tired of seeing ESPN and these guys. We got some other reporters out here. This is Chris Mannix, who he spoke to some guys in Dallas apparently, and he had some things to say about what the Mavericks and Knicks reporting where it's headed.
As I tape here on Sunday night, I've been talking to a few people in and around the Mavericks organization over the last couple of days, trying to get a feel for what's actually being discussed, what might be on the table, and a few things I've been told to kind of be aware of. One is that this idea of letting Kidd out of his contract to coach the Knicks is something that's being discussed. The Mavericks could have nipped this story in the bud quickly with a simple statement. Jason Kidd is our coach, or don't even make a statement. Leak it to reporters. We have no interest or not going to allow our head coach, who has multiple years left on his contract, to go become the coach of another team. Kidd has 2 years left on the contract he signed after the finals run in 2024, and Dallas has no reason to let him out of that contract. So on some level, and I believe it's a very high level, this is being talked about in Dallas. So at what level, I guess, is the next question. And I think you have to look at the two owners of these teams. Jim Dolan is a...
Fuck that. There's another thing where he talked about the upside to Jason Kidd and just talking to the Mavericks people.
Fully healthy, back, ready to go. For Kidd, all this talk about him going to New York, it's all upside for Jason Kidd. And look, he's looking for two things. He's looking to get paid, and he's looking to win championships. Does the Knicks job offer a better chance of winning a title? Debatable. They are in the Eastern Conference, but there is probably a lower ceiling on that team than there is the Mavericks. Money, definitely a lot of money. The Knicks are willing to pay Tom Thibodeau $30 million over the next 3 years to not coach them. I don't think Kidd considers a deal with New York unless they'd come to the table with some kind of 5-year offer, $50 million, $60 million, maybe more. It's got to be in that ballpark to get Kidd to even think about making a move this side.
A lot being said there, just a lot of more credibility or things pointing to Jason Kidd coming here. Also, before, I guess y'all don't want to overload you, but there was a guy, Jerry Wofel. He was a Bucks reporter in 2015, and he was talking about the Bucks going to prepare for life without Giannis. This was back on May 19th. He said, I've been told by multiple sources the Bucks are taking steps in the event Giannis moves on. One of those steps is bringing some projected top 8 draft picks to the Milwaukee Bucks before the June 25-26 NBA draft. The Bucks, as of now, don't even have a first-round pick in this year's draft. So they don't even have a pick in this year's draft, but they are taking steps to watch, top 8 draft picks, top eight draft picks prospects in this year's draft. Also, just in case we forget, Jerry Wolfel is the person that reported after the Luka trade that the Mavericks explored trades with both Milwaukee Bucks and Minnesota Timberwolves before they ultimately settled on the Lakers. The Mavericks reportedly inquired about Giannis and a potential swap with Milwaukee, given Giannis' status as one of the best two-way players in the league and a perennial MVP candidate. That was an ambitious move by Dallas. So everyone's saying that it was always a one-team race with Dallas and the Lakers to get Luka, but apparently Dallas had explored, we want to get Giannis over there. Jason Kidd, Giannis reunited over there before even talking about the Knicks. I saw ESPN, Stephen A. Smith, he's watching us. We know you watching us. Talk about how the Mavericks are a better situation for as a head coach for Jason Kidd than it would be for him in New York, especially if the Mavericks are in position to go get Giannis all ball. This thing is picking up steam. It's really looking like it's going to be Jason Kidd. I mean, what is our reaction to this? It looks like it's likely going to be him.
Well, the way homie broke that down was beautifully. But what I heard is which made the most sense is, like I've been saying the last couple of days, where there's smoke, there's fire. Nobody from Jason's Kidd side or the Dallas side, because like he said, they could nip this in the bud easily. Or a report just has to come out right now that says J Kidd isn't going anywhere. So that goes to show you, and like Windhorse said, there is mutual, and I've been saying this, like you said, Stephen A. Smith said, but who he was debating was the Morris twin brothers, and both of them disagreed with him. They said the better job is the Knicks job, and what they said I love. Of course, the Dallas job for the future is better, but remember, we don't know Kyrie's timetable for coming back off of that injury. God willing, he gets healthy and comes back. We all know AD and his injury history. So let's be realistic. As much as we love the Dallas Mavericks roster, those guys are injury prone. So with no Kyrie, and let's see what happens with AD in the season, who's to say they're going to be the juggernaut that we know they could be if they're fully healthy? When J.K. could come to New York with almost a ready roster that just needs a little few tweaks to maybe be right back in the Eastern Conference Finals, going up against the Indiana Pacers again and getting to the NBA Finals. So for me, we talked about this the other day. If this was BS, once again, the Dallas Mavericks or Jason Kidd people can send an anonymous to anybody and shut this whole thing down. So for me, two things. Him getting the money over here is not going to be a problem. Dolan is going to give him whatever he wants. Not a problem. And like I said, too, the roster, of course, Dallas Mavericks have the better roster, but next season, no Kyrie. Who's to say AD's going to stay healthy? So, and then let's be for real. That thing is a mess over there. We're still getting rid of Luka. They still getting over that. So I think the pressure, and I think Flea will love this, right now, the Dallas Mavericks, it may sound crazy, but the Dallas Mavericks have more pressure to win a championship than the Knicks right now with trading Luka Doncic. So remember, J. Kidd got to go through all that all next season, still talking about Nico. Now, what are y'all going to do with that number 1 draft pick? Now, don't let Cooper Flag come in there and don't make a dip. Like, to me, it's a whole lot in Dallas, and then no Kyrie. I think right now, J. Kidd is trying to get ahead of that headache and go, I don't want to put up with this, because what happens if Kyrie doesn't come back healthy next season? Let's say AD doesn't play up to the MVP level we think he can play. And then now Dallas turns into a play-in or a 7-8 seed and loses in the first round. I think J. Kidd is trying to duck that smoke. So for me, I just love that no one came out and said, this is not true. He's our guy. So for me, it just goes to show, we all agreed the other day, well, me and Flea at least, that we would love J. Kidd to be the head coach. So I just hope, hopefully, this thing gets done. He becomes the Knicks' next head coach.
Lee, what do you think about this Jason Kidd thing picking up steam? You wanted a plan. This is looking like the plan, regardless of did they stumble on it? They started 2 weeks ago. They started yesterday. How are you liking the plan that we see so far?
Talk. Just talk. I don't see anybody on the Knicks side. I don't see anybody confirming anything. This is talk, and this is what the Knicks are doing. They fired their coach, and so now they're gonna keep headlines all for the next 6 weeks on us until we hire a coach. I don't put anything. Quite honestly, I was a little confused as to why we even thought that this was picking up steam when it's just a bunch of media heads just talking. I didn't see nothing that let me know, that made me feel like, okay, this is something that could potentially really happen. Wendy says something that was vague, but I've like OG keeps saying he hasn't seen it. I've seen reports out of Dallas that said they are not going to allow them to talk. It's just not that. When it comes down to it, when when the rubber meets the road, they are going to be like, nah, we want him here. He's going to be here. So
that is true. That has come out. They said we're basically waiting for the Knicks to come out and say that. But Chris Mannix is saying that the Mavericks people are preparing for Kid to leave. They even just hired an associate coach recently, yesterday. I forgot his name, but there is mutual interest apparently between Jason Kidd and the Knicks. That's what's being reported also. Like, and it's after what you're saying, after they reported the Mavericks are going to deny them. Well, we're still waiting on the official Knicks call to the Mavericks to see, like you're saying, all right, where's the phone call at, man? Where?
Yeah, because like, I mean, if this is going to happen, let's make it happen. Things are about to. June is going to be over really quickly, right? We're going to be in the draft soon. We're going to be in free agency soon. Let's get a coach in place. We made the fire 2 days after the finals. I mean, after the series. You must have had all of this in place, all of the stuff that we speculating on right now. If there really is smoke, you know what I mean? If there really is a fire, like, then let's do it. What we waiting on? Let's get the guy in here and let's get our guy in here. And let's move forward. We keep worrying about, you know, having this media buzz and niggas keep talking about the Knicks for clicks and all that shit. I don't want to hear that shit. Get Kid in it. If Kid is our guy, let's go forward with the guy.
Yeah, but just real quick, just to play devil's advocate, I don't know this for sure because I'm not in that world. I never conducted nothing like this, but I'm pretty sure it takes steps. I don't think you could just, you know, like, remember, Kid owes 2 years on his contract, and I think, you know, certain things have to get worked out. I think if the Knicks were able to sign Kid today, I'm pretty sure they would. I think they're behind the scenes really trying to work this thing out, because think about it. There's no more talk about nobody else. I don't hear nothing about Mike Malone. I don't hear nothing about Bryant. I don't hear nothing about anybody no more. Now it's just solely J Kidd. I just think they're behind the scenes trying to, you rightfully, up until something happened, it is talk. But I think something like this, things have to get worked out, and it may take a little time. It may take a couple of weeks. I don't know if it would take a day or two. Maybe I could be wrong. And I'm not trying to be sarcastic or funny. Like I said, that word, as far as signing a coach or whatever goes into that, I really don't know. I'm just guessing that something like this may take some time, because remember, now J Kidd may have to convince Dallas, bro, I want to get up out of here. So maybe they going back and forth, and the Knicks is just sitting back waiting for Kidd to be like, yo, everything is all said and done. Let's go. Because I really believe if the Knicks could sign Jason Kidd right now as the head coach, they would do it. But I think something like this may take a little time, but I could be wrong.
Also, I don't know how much trust Jason Kidd has in that ownership, because that's something with Jason Kidd that's the reason why he left the Nets, when he had some trust with the Milwaukee Bucks ownership. That was part of the deal with him even being the head coach over there, because he knew what the ownership was. He's part of the reason why Jay-Z bought that whatever percentage of the Nets. He told Jay-Z about the percentage of the Nets. So he doesn't just think about the game of basketball on that court. He thinks about the business of basketball. And I don't think he liked the Luka trade happening behind his back like that. I don't know if he knew about it. I don't think he was happy with Luka. Like, I think he would co-sign Luka for Giannis, because he's coached Giannis before, and he sees a competitor in Giannis like himself. I like say whatever he want about Luka Doncic. He can be a great player all he wants to. He don't compete like Jason Kidd, and he recognizes that. And he's one of those voices that let Nico Harrison know, dog, I was with Nike, I was with Kobe, I was at the Olympics. You know how this thing is, bro. He ain't got that factor. And Giannis, we don't even have to ask that question. So I don't think Kid is comfortable with that. I don't think he might not have. Who the hell would have confidence in Dallas ownership? Nobody would feel. Do you feel like a sitting duck? They could do anything behind your back if they pull that trade off. So why they got rid of the superstar? Why wouldn't they trade me? Now, you may have a friend in New York with a group of people who might not let you in that inner circle immediately, but I'm pretty sure he can work and charm his way in there, especially being that he's from New York or he played at playing time in New York, and pretty sure he has an apartment here somewhere, a house here somewhere. I think he can schmooze his way sitting down with James Dolan and Leon Rose. Like, this is not a guy that we keep saying it. He's a guy that is shockingly, because of the history of basketball, is the only guy we've seen that has reached the finals and been on that level of a superstar as a player, top point guard in the conversation for best point guard of all time. And he's also reaching those heights as a coach. To see that cerebral game going down, I think he has no choice but to go join the Knicks. There's no way he wants to stay in Dallas at this point. I can't see it.
Yeah, I think it's a hard decision. If I was him, I think that would be a very, very hard decision. There's upside on both sides. There's upside on the Dallas side. There's upside on the Knicks side. I think there's immediate upside with the Knicks. There's some special shit that could happen. Like OG said, what if all of these guys get hurt? Or what if all these guys get healthy and they have a lineup at some point within the next 12 to 24 months where they have a Kyrie, Clay, Flag, AD with Lively and re-signing Gafford, and now they got, you know what I'm saying? That could look very ugly out there with that team, right? Or you come over here and you got guys that are ready to rock and roll, but there's also some things that you got to be concerned about over here. What is the ceiling when he comes over here? I think it's a hard decision if I'm Jay Kidd. I think you guys paint it as a little easier for him. For me, I would think it's a little tougher decision to just say, I'm going to come over here and be the coach of the New York Knicks. Like, when you come over here now, there's other things to deal with. Like, Dolan ain't the best guy, right? We could talk about the honeymoon period as things are fresh, right? But we go through a season or two and things ain't the way that we pan them out to be. Now Dolan is the worst guy to work for, right? Like, I'm sure Tibbs walked away from this not feeling the greatest. I brought this team to the conference finals and y'all canned me. Like, I'm sure he's not feeling the greatest about it. And anybody that parts ways with Dolan doesn't walk away feeling like, okay, I'll go back there and work for him. Everybody ain't Isaiah Thomas. You know what I'm saying? Everybody ain't Zeke. So, I'm Kid is the guy. I think we all agree on that's the guy that we want. But I don't think that this move is as easy or as prominent as everybody is making it out to be. I think OG is right. There's some steps. There's some stuff that has to go on. And as them steps go on, things happen. People sleep overnight. People change their minds. Feelings happen. So, we really got to see, because for me, this next coaching hire for the New York Knicks is probably one of the most important in franchise history. For the type of team that we have, the position that we're in, the type of noise that we can make, the type of noise we was been making, this guy that we get in place going forward is probably one of the biggest hires we make in franchise history. We got to nail this shit.
And Flea, I really believe that someone like Kid that feels the way they do about life, just everything in general, whatever happened in his life, personal life, y'all could go Google that. And the way he went to the New Jersey Nets and the Brooklyn Nets eventually, and the way he was trying to get traded to Dallas and try to get traded to Cleveland with LeBron at first, because they met in the Olympics. There's something about him that likes challenges, or he's just a competitive dude. To hear someone like you, just the way you said that, me personally, I feel like, I want to go do that. I want to go take on the challenge where, if it means that much, the most important coaching position in franchise history, this, that, the third, I'm like this, like, word? And it's New York.
Mm-hmm.
Like, what happened with Jalen Brunson. What you think is going to happen if you win as a New York Knicks head coach? Whatever we feel about Tibbs, we're polarized by it. Yo, look, Flea still got love for Tibbs, and we hate him. So imagine if that became in unison like Voltron. That's what happened for Jason Kidd. I think he's looking forward to that. And then the other thing before I let AllBall go, I don't mean to say that the decision is easy. There's no way that decision is easy. There's a lot of money on the line. It's not like both franchises don't have franchise players at this point. A future franchise player potentially in the next round, in the next draft coming up with Cooper Flag for Dallas. He will be giving that up too. The tax-free money over there in Texas. But I think, for me, it's easy for him to come to the conclusion that, yo, I cannot trust that owner. I do whatever they say. I don't know what the hell they're talking about. I don't believe a word that they say, a word that they told me, because they went back on it. That press conference with him and Nico Harrison after they traded Luka Doncic, it was awkward at best. Mm-hmm. There's no way he trusts them people, AllBall.
Now, y'all both killed that. I gotta give y'all props on that. But for me, Fabian, you said something that I totally disagree with. I don't think Jason Kidd did not want Luka Doncic. As much as we want to say he's not a competitor, or he has to lose weight, or he's a bad whatever. All NBA first 5 years, been to the finals, and I think when you're a coach and you're able to have a franchise player who people thought Luka was gonna almost mimic Dirk Nowitzki, where you was gonna be a Dallas Maverick for
bad Luka. They cut his lights out. That's what you get fucking with me.
Shut up, AllBall.
Yeah, talking about synopsis. What's the synopsis on your Wi-Fi, AllBall?
That was nasty. That was nasty. That was nasty.
Yo, Slim Slammer. Bang! Bang!
What's the synopsis of your line? That was nasty, baby. That was disgusting.
Again, I understand what AllBall is saying if he jumps back in. It's not that you don't want Luka, but how often did you feel like Rick Carlisle left because of this dude? Don Nelson Jr. retired because of this dude. Flat out left Dallas, by the way. And then you're sitting there and they go, Nico comes to you. He's like, yo, so what's up with the kid? Like, the calf injury, this and that. And Jason Kidd's just giving him feedback. At some point, the truth is flee. If you get angry with the way people play, with Karl Anthony Towns plays defense, you telling me Kidd's not sitting there going, Jason Kidd. We don't even want to talk about who's on his level defensively back then at perimeter guards. We can't even get into that discussion. We can't, because Jason Kidd is top tier.
For sure.
Perimeter defensive point guards, two guards, whatever you want.
Period.
Whoever you want.
This defense, period. Like,
and you telling me he's sitting on the sideline, he's just like this with Luka Doncic, like, nah, he's just a great player. Nah, he's an all-NBA guy. I want this. I'm not going to turn my back on him. No. It's there's 4 or 5 other guys in the league that are available that are ranked higher than Luka Doncic. If they are available, like a Giannis, you can make that move.
Yo, RP is insane, man. RP is I love RP. RP called them all broke. Yo, RP is insane. I don't know if you saw that comment. Lord have mercy. This nigga. RP is ridiculous, bro.
Y'all know what this was.
Knicks Rehab.
Knicks Rehab, y'all.
And we out. AllBall TV.
They scared, but I'm not.
They don't like comentario.
Y suscribe.